stocks were trading in a mixed manner on Monday amid uncertainty over Brexit and the ongoing trade conflict between the US and China. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was thwarted by politicians in Parliament who voted to postpone the meaningful vote on his new Brexit deal. That forced Johnson to ask Brussels for an extension to the current October 31st departure deadline, but EU leaders don't necessarily have to accept it. Now investors wait for the British government to present the full withdrawal agreement bill to try and pass it through both houses of Parliament. Meanwhile, Chinese Vice Premier Liu He noted that the US and China made substantial progress at trade talks. After reaching a partial trade deal earlier this month, the two sides are working to strike a written agreement. Against this backdrop, Japan's Nikkei 225 rose 0.25%, South Korea's Kospi finished up 0.2%, while Australia's ASX 200 closed nearly flat at 6,652.50. The Shanghai Composite also closed unchanged, as well as Hong Kong's Hang Seng. Overall, MSCI's broadest index of Asia shares outside Japan rose 0.28%. In Europe, stocks closed higher on Monday despite the lingering uncertainty as UK leader Boris Johnson was denied a parliamentary vote on his Brexit deal. The motion for a vote was rejected by House Speaker John Bercow. He said it was not a parliamentary convention to ask politicians to debate the same question repeatedly. By the way, some European leaders have voiced reluctance to give Britain more time. The Stoxx Europe 600 rose 0.4% to 393.28. The German DAX was up 0.7% to 12,551.16. The French CAC 40 increased 0.2% to 5,643.48. And the UK FTSE 100 rose 0.2%. U.S. stocks closed higher amid fresh reason for optimism as the U.S. and China continue negotiations aimed at resolving their trade war after China's top negotiator said that substantial progress is being made in its talks with the U.S. The S&P 500 index rose 20.52 points, or 0.7%, to 3,006.72. The Nasdaq climbed 73.44 points, or 0.9%, to 8,162.99. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 57.44 points, or 0.2%, to 26,827.64. The index was weighed down by a sharp drop in Boeing shares amid investor concerns about the latest revelations surrounding its 737 MAX airplanes. Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg is scheduled to testify to the House's Transportation Committee on October 30th as Congress is ramping up its scrutiny of the company. In currencies, the greenback climbed against the euro and the yen, but continued to suffer losses against the sterling. The GBP USD refreshed highs above the 1.30 psychological level, but closed around 1.2960 and advances further early on Tuesday. The pair seems to have become somehow indecisive near the key resistance of 1.30 amid the lingering Brexit uncertainty and ahead of the second reading of the Brexit bill in the House of Commons due today. If Parliament does not agree to the timetable, Prime Minister Johnson's plans to leave on October 31st could be derailed, which would be negative for the pound. In commodities, Brent crude extended losses on Monday and even derailed the $58 figure. Despite some recovery since then, the futures remain below the $59 handle and are still under the selling pressure early on Tuesday amid ongoing fears of the looming oversupply in a world economy that is slowing. Meanwhile, OPEC members Kuwait and Saudi Arabia said they were making good progress in talks to resume oil production from joint fields in the so-called neutral zone. The fields have a capacity of 500,000 barrels per day. On the other hand, the downside pressure is capped by signs of progress in talks on resolving the U.S.-China trade dispute. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and please click subscribe to always be in touch with the latest market news.